Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group. Today's topic, I want to discuss something known as a 401k account. And this is something that is offered, this is what majority of individuals have regarding their retirement plan. So I want to kind of go over how to easily comprehend these things and some of the different concerns that individuals have when contributing to the 401k account. And, you know, let's be honest, whenever somebody applies for a job or they get hired for a job, they're offered a benefits package, and it gets very overwhelming, to say the least. There's not really too much help. There's not really too many interesting literature pieces where you could really understand these 401k accounts. So I want to try to help you avoid some of the most common mistakes, show you different things, different examples that I've experienced with individuals that call into my office, and exactly how we could potentially help you out on that aspect. With a 401k account, this is just a type of retirement account, okay? What this means is, let's say if you work for a company, you get hired by a company, you work for that company, they're going to offer you some sort of retirement plan or allow you to contribute into some sort of retirement plan. Hence the 401k. Understand, you have things known as a 401k, you have a 403b, you have a TSP, different things. They're all different types of qualified retirement accounts. So any amount of money that you want to place into this plan, if let's say you made $100,000 and somebody's telling you, oh, make sure you max fund your 401k account. You want to go and you want to place as much money as possible. Let's say if you go and you put $10,000 into this plan. Well, if you put $10,000 into that plan, you get something known as a tax deduction. This is pre-tax money. So any dollar amount that you place into this plan, you'll get that tax deduction. So it's as if you made $100,000, it's as if you made $90,000 that year. You get the tax deduction. Now, the hopes of this bucket growing is whatever you contribute, and however well the performance of it, the percentage of the performance is, equals however large that bucket is at the end of the day. Now, there's some different intricacies with the 401k account, why individuals might want to place money into it, and it's known as an employer match. And what this means is they want to tell you, okay, Mr. Smith, you're such a good employee of ours. What we're going to do is we're going to offer you some sort of match, some sort of incentive to place your money in this 401k account. So maybe you might see something like 3% match. First off, we'll go off the first misconception, because whenever I talk to an individual, I say, okay, what are they matching you? A person basically responds, oh, 100%. I go put in $50,000, they're going to match me $50,000. And that is so far from the truth, okay? Understand something. Companies are not going to be that nice. They want to at least give you an incentive to stay with that company so that somebody else does not offer you a better plan, but it's typically right around the 2 to maybe 5% range. More recently, we've been seeing things a lot lower, maybe not even a match. They just basically say, hey, listen, you have a job, congratulations, you're going to be happy with what we give you. So what the match is that's free money. They're essentially telling you, as long as you're staying with this company, something known as a vesting schedule, as long as you stay with this company for, let's say, 2 years, 3 years, you're going to be able to keep 100% of the matches. 100% of whatever we're matching into this plan will be able to grow into that plan. So let me just go very slowly again. So we understand the employee basically works for the company, and this has to be a private institution. If you had a public institution, such as like a school, that might be a 403b account. So private institution, you have an employee that's working for this company. They say, oh, listen, you're offered a 401k account, okay? We're going to give you a 3% match, and this is just an example. We're going to give you a 3% match at 100%. So what this means is, let's say that same hypothetical example, you're making $100,000, just for easy math. This means that for every dollar you contribute into your 401k account, into that retirement bucket, the company is going to match you up to 3%. So that means if you place in $3,000, the company matches you $3,000. So now you have $6,000 into your retirement account, into your retirement bucket that's now working for you. It looks very, very nice. Now what happens if you put 1%, but they're giving you a 3% match. Another misconception. Somebody says, oh, no, they're going to put $3,000 in there. No, once again, they're only going to match you up to the percentage that you put up to a certain cap limit. So if you put in 1%, we know 1% of 100,000 is what? It's $1,000. So that means the company will match you $1,000. Now, what happens if you make the mistake, and I basically say make the mistake because a lot of individuals do this, many individuals do this, of saying, oh, they're going to match me, let's say 2%, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 15% of my money into my 401k account. Well, if they're matching you 2%, we understand that the most that they will possibly put into your account if you're making $100,000 is $2,000. So why exactly would you place more money into your 401k account if they're not giving you that free money? There are better alternatives out there, and that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make. Now, so in this example, let's say if you put in 15%, so you put in $15,000 into that account. Well, they're not going to match you 100% of that 15%. They're only going to match you 100% up to the 2%. So it's very simple. You might see other things where they'll say, hey, listen, we'll give you a 6% match. We'll give you a 50% of 6%, up to 6%. So that means anything up to that 6%, they're going to give you a 50% match. So meaning in that same example, you put in $6,000, which is 6% of 100 grand. They're going to put in $3,000. So this means also, let's say you put in 3% on a 6% match up to 50%. Very important that you understand those terms. This means that you put in $3,000, they're going to match you $1,500. So it's never actually dollar for dollar. Now there's certain limits to what you could place into a 401k account. And this is something that it's monitored through the through the government. It's basically set up. It's something known as a qualified plan. So you have a bunch of cons. You have some pros. You have a bunch of cons with this account, especially in more recent years. Now, if you were to ever look up a historical tax rate chart, okay, you look it up. You see exactly what was the highest tax rate, what was the lowest tax rate, all of this. What we're starting to notice, and please do this. Look up basically the differences of taxes, and I'll actually pull one up right now. So this is just something I pulled off of, it was on berkeley.edu. You can type this into any Google search and you'll be able to see this. But if you notice, these are all the top marginal tax rates throughout the history. Now if you notice, in the 50s and the 60s you had the highest possible tax rates. Now over here, everything is much lower. Now, and this is basically all up to general opinion, but do you really feel as if all these different things that we're hearing with the economic deficit, with the government debt, all these different things, that the government is not going to try to at least get money back from taxes? It's just the inevitable. Taxes need to go up. We're almost at all-time lows in tax rates, and this is exactly the different charts. You could basically look up this information. You could see exactly how tax rates were. But the point that I'm trying to make is regarding if you're somebody that's younger or somebody that understands that they have a little bit of time horizon before they're actually going to start taking from that retirement bucket. These qualified plans are not that nice. The government is not that nice. They're not just going to basically tell you, oh yes, please go, and if you're making $100,000, please take $10,000, place it into a qualified account, get that tax deduction now of $10,000, and we're just going to basically write it off. We don't even care about getting that money back. No. What happens is, as you're contributing to that 401k account, what do we have working for us? We have the amount of money that we're putting in there, plus whatever match that's going to be put in there. And a lot of times, more often than not, I do not see very favorable matches, if any matches, especially in more recent years. So if you are offered a match, I highly recommend that you at least put up to that match, because you have to think of that as free money. So you have your money plus the match money, which is going into the bucket. Now, what exactly determines whether this bucket grows or becomes lower? And that is based upon market performance. Back in 1974, the branch of the government known as ERISA was developed, and that was the first implementations of the 401k accounts kind of came about off of that ERISA. What happens was you have options. You might be given, 15 options, 10 options, 25 options, whatever that is. And you're going to see all these lists of funds. It might say, different things like Fidelity or T. Rowe Price or whatever that is, depending upon who holds your 401k accounts, who's the plan administrator. So based upon these options, you might see something like a 2025 fund, or you might see something like a 2050 fund. Or you might see something like bond funds or conservative portfolios or whatever that is. And all these are is just a couple of different options through these mutual funds that will either help or hinder your retirement accounts. So a lot of individuals, they just kind of go into it blindly. They call up the plan administrator, might say, oh yeah, here's some options. We kind of explain what the past performance was, but there's nothing that's guaranteed with these types of accounts. All because you're placing money into this bucket and you're getting a match into that bucket does not prevent you from falling victim to downward market losses. So, and I'm going to go back to the tax aspect of it, because you kind of have a couple of different cons with the 401k accounts when you set them up the wrong way. First off, you want to be educated on exactly what you're placing your money into. You want to understand these different types of funds. You want to understand, make sure that it makes sense. So anytime that your mutual funds increase, the amount of money in your bucket will go up. You're going to see gains. You're going to see it on either a quarterly basis, annual basis of exactly how well your fund is performing. Now, anytime the market goes down or your mutual funds go down, you're going to see a loss into your account. Now, the reason why I say this is because you have to look at 2008. In 2008, you had individuals that were placing money hand over fist into these 401k accounts, and everybody felt, oh my gosh, this money is always going to grow, because we saw unbelievable gains in the stock market from 1980 through 2000. It was over 1,000% growth into the market. So everyone was essentially spoiled. You had individuals that just kept pumping as much money as possible into these 401k accounts, saying, "Oh, I'm never going to lose. This, this market's fantastic. The housing market's fantastic. Oh, this is amazing." Well, unfortunately, a lot of individuals fell victim to reverse dollar cost averaging. And what this means is, anytime that you place your money into 401k accounts, you have certain fees, certain 401k related fees. You also have mutual fund related fees into these accounts. So what that means is, with the two sets of fees, you already have two negatives that are working in your account. Individuals say, I don't understand anything regarding these accounts, so I'm going to hire a financial advisor. He's going to monitor my account. Well, it doesn't matter what sort of tools the financial advisor has. He cannot give you a guarantee that this money will always be increasing. So that's also a third fee. So in 2008, when the average portfolio lost 57%, these were also portfolios that were being managed by money managers, by investment advisors. And the individual, let's say if they just lost 50% for easy math, let's say you had $1 million into your 401k account. And you say, wow, I'm so close to retirement. This is great. Everything's been working fantastic because I kept pumping my money in there. I'm right at the finish line. And all of a sudden, overnight, that year, you saw a 50% drop. You didn't only get hit by 50% of the downward market loss. And this is after you placed millions, thousands of dollars into this account. You had the matches. You had all these different things that were working for you. And just in one instant, you had a 50% drop into that account. On top of it, you also had mutual fund related fees, so 401k related fees. Let's say that might have been 1%. And then you also had an advisor fee of 1%. So right there, even if you took a hit of 50%, you really lost 52% of your value. Let's say if you were one of those unfortunate retirees who decided to take money from that account and you took out 4%. Well, you would have taken out, in that scenario, you would have taken out $40,000, but you would have ended up losing $560,000 in the process in that 1 year. Poof, everything went down. Now, some losses were much higher than 57%. Some losses were less than 57%, depending upon how you had your your allocation setup. So with all these individuals, and let me kind of go back to the taxation of this, because of the money that you're placing into that account, you get the tax deduction for it. All that money that is now accumulating into the account, regardless of it being higher or lower by the amount of contributions you place into that account, this is going to be fully taxable. Okay? 100% fully taxable. So for individuals that are thinking to place money into their 401k accounts right now, what my main recommendation is, and I want to be very honest reviews on this, is definitely go up to the match, because that's going to be free money. And make sure that you understand what you're placing your money in, what sort of mutual funds that you're placing your money in. But a lot of things I do not recommend to any of my clients that you go above the match, because there are better alternatives out there. There are better alternatives that allow you to have tax-free growth, that allow you to everything in your bucket to grow tax-free, everything in your bucket to basically be distributed tax-free. Whenever you're looking to take out those, those funds, you could receive a tax-free distribution, and different things that allow you to leave a tax-free inheritance on the back end. And this is something that we deem in-house as a Retire Sharp retirement insurance contract. And you could please give our 1-800 number a call if you are interested in these different things. But one of the major factors that you also have to understand something is, with these 401k accounts, you have a 59.5 rule. And one of my really good friends, he's basically an accountant, and we were having a conversation a couple of months ago, and he was telling me, he said, listen, he said, I go and I place my money, into this 401k account, and me and all my buddies, all my accountant friends, and these guys are accountants, so they're supposed to know the tax code better than anyone. He said, we're placing our money, and this doesn't mean all accountants, but they were placing their money into their 401k accounts, and they were monitoring it so concrete, so distinctively, so that they could basically see, oh, anytime we have a gain, oh, I could just take that money. And they didn't even realize that with the 401k account, you can't touch this money until after age 59.5. So if you go and you have an oh my gosh moment, or if you're going and you're saying, oh, I have such a great gain, well, you know what, wait a little bit, wait 20, 30, 40, possibly even 40 years to basically start taking that money, because they have certain guidelines. Because it's deemed a qualified account, you cannot touch that money until after 59.5. So I have some individuals that say, okay, what exactly can I do? I don't want to wait till 59.5 to basically retire. How exactly can I take a retirement? What exactly will allow me to accumulate savings, to make sure that I'm doing it in a very safe, consistent way, and essentially be able to eliminate that 59.5 rule? So, some of the different things that we talked about so far, okay? There's some different pros and some different cons regarding a 401k account. Some of the pros is you basically have a tax deduction. Any amount of money that you're placing in there is going to grow with, you're going to have a tax deduction with any sort of contributions. Typically, and this is just basically, right around 17,500 is typically the max that you could place into these plans. So if you're basically making over 6 figures, you're a medical doctor, whatever that is, and you want to go and place more money into a retirement plan, and your only option is the 401k account, you have a certain cap limit. It could be 17,500. They might have raised it a little bit this year. So just understand that, please check your tax charts for the year to see exactly what that max contribution is. So you could get a tax deduction up to whatever amount you're contributing into it. Meaning that if you made $100,000, you put $10,000 into it, you're going to show as if you made $90,000 that year. You got that tax deduction. All the money that's growing into that account, so the amount of money that you're contributing, the amount of money that's matching, and any sorts of gains or losses into that account is growing tax deferred, meaning that they're not going to pull out money for taxes every single year. So this bucket, essentially, in theory, if the market should keep going up and you're just having very consistent years, this bucket should grow tax deferred, and it could grow larger and larger and larger. So it's growing tax deferred. The very last pro is the match. Okay? Some companies offer it, other companies don't. Please check your employee benefits package to see exactly what that matches. And understand, if this says 100%, it doesn't mean 100% of what you place in there. It's going to be 100% up to a certain limit. Or it might say 50%, but it's going to be up to a certain limit. So please understand that. Now, cons. The bad side to this is it's going to be fully taxable. Okay? 100% fully taxable. I've already shown you the tax charts. I've already shown you exactly what historical tax rates have been. I mean, you can make your own assessment. My ideas are that taxes are going to be much higher in the future. It's just the inevitable. There's a reason why this debt has to get paid back somehow. So therefore, you could be shooting yourself in the foot, because even if you're at a lower tax bracket when you retire, if right now you're sitting at a 25% tax bracket, but when you retire, you're going to be in a lower tax bracket because you're going to be claiming less income, who's to say that that lowest tax bracket is not going to be 30%? It's not going to be 35%. So essentially, yes, you're getting the tax deduction now, but there's no guarantee that you're going to be at a lower percentage tax bracket at that later date in time. So it's fully taxable. There's no guarantees with this. You have downward market loss potential, just like in 2008. If you go and you had your money in there and you're trying to essentially take this money out for retirement, you have mutual fund related fees, the 401k related fees, possibly an advisor fee, downward market loss potential, and then you're trying to take income from that account. This is what seriously liquidates these accounts, and it liquidates it so fast. The very last thing is you have something known as 59.5. You have a 59.5 rule. You cannot touch this money before the age of 59.5. So, you know, basically you have to understand that you have to retire after 59.5. What is exactly the alternative? You know, you say, okay, I understand the pros, I understand the cons. You know, what exactly can, you know, you offer that makes something more favorable? Well, we have certain things. We leverage certain retirement insurance contracts that allow your money, the amount of money that you contribute into these plans, grow tax-free. It will accumulate tax-free. You don't have a 59.5 rule. You don't have any mutual fund related fees. And on top of it, whenever the market goes down, you have a floor of 0%. Whenever the market goes up, you have certain cap limits of upwards of 15%, but mimic certain market indexes. So it allows you to have those potentials of those double-digit figures, double-digit gains in a given year, where you're not falling victim to that reverse dollar cost averaging effect. And also, when you're looking to, let's say, God forbid, something happens to you and you pass away, the amount of money that your beneficiaries are going to receive are going to be much higher than anything that's sitting in a 401k account, and it's going to go to them in a tax-free manner. If you go and you pass away and you had your money sitting in a 401k account, that money is now going to be fully taxable to your heirs. So these are just some different things. If you are interested, please make sure to give us a call, our 1-800 number. It's 1-800-566-1002, and we'll help explain some different things. We'll see exactly whether or not a Retire Sharp retirement insurance contract might be suitable for your specific situation. And we're going to help educate you on exactly, you know, what is your 401k, how exactly to comprehend that 401k, and different ways on how to leverage the current financial products, the current financial avenues that you could take to get to your, you know, proper retirement destination. You know, I want to thank you very much for watching this video. Please make sure to, you know, subscribe and you know, view some of our other videos so you get the most updated videos. And you know, give us a call with any questions. We offer 24/7 customer service. We are also accredited with the Better Business Bureau. And reason being is we try to give you guys as much free content as possible, as much free education as possible, so that you can make an informed decision and make sure that you're really taking the correct steps and you understand, comprehend everything that you have and how to get from point A to point B successfully. All right, guys, thank you so much. Take care.